Shabbat Shalom, welcome. We're just getting started. It's really good to see everyone. This is our 6th straight Shabbat inside. But I guess we've had such good luck in our 9 years as a congregation that it was about time that our luck would start running out. And if it was going to be a year, better this year than last year. And as you can see, the roof was leaking a little bit. Todd Sugarman was actually going to go on the roof and see if he could fix it now. But just be careful of everything over there. It feels a little like when I lived in Florida. In Orlando, every day from May till August, at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it would pour. It would be nice the rest of the time. It just feels like every single Friday at 6 o'clock, rain. So we really appreciate it. I know a number of you are here for very important occasions. We have a first yard site, and we're glad to be able to host that. And we're glad that we can be together even in this way. I have Dr. Yonina Foster here with me. Cantor Frank is on vacation. Apparently at the Hall of Fame, the Little League Hall of Fame, which is exciting. The Cooperstown, in Cooperstown, okay. I haven't been there in a long time. Yeah, so I guess she's there with the Franks and the Raphael Gellens are over there at Cooperstown. So I know they're having a great time over there. So tonight's service, as people are getting situated, first of all, this is the prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah. For those of you joining us from afar, you can have access. We're going to kind of delay a little bit as people come in. We are asking to wear masks during services. That's our current policy, just to be conservative while we're together. I know we're Reform Reconstructionists, but we're a little conservative with that. Tonight's service also will be having a little bit of Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is the 9th of Av, our saddest day of the Jewish year. It's this Sunday. And Yonina and I are actually going to be in here with no one else on Sunday, broadcasting out to Canada at the Holloway Memorial Chapel, where they have had their services shut down 2 years in a row. But we've tried to help out, and Yonina's going to be joining me. So we're going to have some of the different melodies that are associated with that day. For those of you not familiar, this is a day that we come in sadness. Often the sanctuaries are dark. People will sit on the floor. Sometimes candlelight at night. It can be very, very beautiful. I know Yonina has led a number of them in the past. And they are very meaningful. It's about the destruction of temples from thousands of years ago that still pull at our hearts, and we read Lamentations. So this is a pretty complicated time, but we're going to celebrate Shabbat. They say on Shabbat, you're not allowed to have Tisha B'Av. What do I mean? On Shabbat, if it actually occurred on Shabbat, this year it's Sunday, you'd have to move the holiday. You cannot celebrate Shabbat and Tisha B'Av. Shabbat is for resting and joy, and we take a break from all of that.
But Rabbi, can I say one thing?
Sure, yeah.
There's also the idea, since we're not sure everybody believes in the holy temples and their destruction, and we can think about our hearts and the breaking of our hearts sometimes of things that happen in our lives and having to heal that. That's the temple too, as well as in Jerusalem.
Yeah, very, very true. I think what I've noticed is during the pandemic, it feels like we've been in exile. So I feel like we understand exile more than I ever have, probably. All right, so we are going to begin with a chant that Yonina is going to offer.
And it is actually based on Isaiah. Nachamu, nachamu ami, nachamu, Nachamu ami, Nachamu, 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 Nachamu ami. Comfort, comfort my people. Comfort, comfort my people. Comfort, comfort, comfort my people. Nachamu, Nachamu ami. Nachamu, Nachamu ami. Nachamu, 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 Nachamu ami.
And we let the words enter into us. We could all use a little comfort right now. I think that's why we've come to the service. Let's take a moment just to look around at those of us here, those of us joining us virtually. We're so glad, and we'll take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air, breathing in everything that we want to hold on to from this past week. This was a week we got my youngest son back from camp, so we had a lot of special moments. My other two are still away. So think about all those special smiles that you had this week, hopefully. And then we also breathe out everything we want to expel, all those really difficult conversations, maybe cars cutting us off, or things we were late for, or things that fell or that we fell, whatever it was. Let's breathe that out. Everything is forgiven at the end of the week. And I would like to bring over Bruce Chorus. Bruce is doing double duty because Joanne Marcusy is away on vacation as well. We also have Sheila Bernard Tucker and Todd Sugarman helping, as well as Allison, who's here every week now.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Am I on? Okay, Allison?
I think I hear it. Sounds good to me.
Okay, there we go. Shabbat Shalom. What do we have to do to be under the tent, huh? I said to Alex, Rabbi Alex, I said, can we just get one service under the tent, please? He clearly has no clout. Anyway, but as I said, you know what? It's not a big deal. We just come inside. This is how it used to be up until last summer. If the weather was bad, if it rained, if it was too hot, we just came inside. No big deal. The new normal is kind of the old normal for us. So we're still together. That is the important thing. And we can celebrate Shabbat together as a family. So there's a lot coming up in the coming weeks. I'll be back with that in the announcements. And thank you to Dr. Foster for joining us this evening while the cantor is off. And I look forward to a very warm and dry, except for the leak in the roof, a very dry Shabbat service. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
And this is Bruce's final Shabbat as president of our congregation. So we give him a little, he was really hoping to be outside, poor thing. On Tuesday, we will have a board meeting and we will officially have a new president. So thank you, Bruce, for all that you've done. Okay, we are going to welcome in Shabbat, welcome each other with from the Psalms, Hine Matovu Manayim.
Hine Matovu Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matovu Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
You might have received a piece of paper when you came in from Sheila Bernard Tucker, and this is a poem she wrote in honor of this Shabbat, in honor of coming back together. And we can read it together if you have it. And so we return. And so we return. The familiar vision, we enter and feel our emotions rise. We look at our synagogue, all burgundy and welcoming, We begin to feel tears in our eyes. Slowly we watch our friends trickle in, each step with its own hesitant style. We settle for near our old familiar seats, and so we will remain for a while. Each week our outdoor Shabbat must come inside, as if God wants us to know. It doesn't matter where we are together like long, long ago. Our inclinations continue to search for the past. We look around and our memories are strong. We fixate on why it feels different now, but we know there is nothing that's wrong. Then Rabbi begins to welcome us. His soothing words unite us as one. Cantor's voice lifts us, searching souls. We are warmed by her gentle sun. Maybe these indoor Friday Shabbats bring us indoors for us to know. Our welcoming home hasn't changed, just the seating's rearranged. How far we traveled together from one long year ago. Thank you, Sheila. And this is a keepsake for everyone. Okay, so we need to get our candles lit, and it looks like Jody, would you be willing to just light our candles over here? You can come up as a group if you'd like. Nothing more complicated than matches. I'm not a miracle worker here. Well, luckily you brought your son there. Then we don't need to give him, if he's a Boy Scout, he doesn't need any matches at all. The prayer is on page 120. And we bring in our Shabbat lights as Yonina will lead us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
May the lights of our candles light our way. And now, Jody, there's one other thing. If one of you could lift up our cup over here. And the prayer is on 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'alva ufratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemahaseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tefillah lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, b'ahava u'ratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim, there's nothing to drink, so you're good. We've removed the wine because with masks and everything, it just seemed kind of pointless. I should also, as Bill is up here, where we are having a memorial for his father next Friday at 11, and Bernie's had his select space somewhere over here. I can't even remember nowadays. But we're glad to honor him again. And as we go into the service, I know Dr. Foster had some good news this past week.
Oh,
did you receive some good news?
I did. I'm going to serve as a High Holy Day cantor at a congregation in Plattsburgh, New York, where it just so happens, and this is not what got me the job, that Rabbi Alex actually was classmates with a Rabbi David Kaminsky, who happens to be the rabbi there.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
cool.
really?
He originally was in Portland, so it's nice to have him back. And Mazel Tov, Yonina
Thanks.
is in the process of her rabbinic work as well, in addition to her cantorial. So we are going to welcome in Shabbat, page 138 with Lecha Dodi. And we sing just the first and the last verse. On the last verse, we rise and face the doorways over there. We bow to the Shabbat bride as she enters, and then we welcome each other with our kingly and queenly, or royal, I should say. We'll take the gender out. Our royal wave.
And I admit I'm going to do one of my favorite tunes. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litala.
And we rise.
Lecha dodi,
Dodi,
Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'v'tzohala, Toch emunei am segula, Boi kala, Lecha
Our royal wave.
dodi, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
And we remain standing for our call of community, page 146. And we do have community here. How wonderful to know we have a support network, page 146.
Yes, just go to the right page. Okay. And welcome. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed.
On the bottom of 147, please join with me in the English. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthest most star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. And we continue with the Shema, page 152, 153.
And you might cover your eyes in this process, because the Shema is about hearing and listening, which is why that tradition arose, that we cover our eyes, or that's one reason. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Malchuto leolam may be seated. Page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On 155, join with me in the English. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are a reminder to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Let's take a moment to think about something stupendous that you were able to do recently. There seems to be there's always something that we're crossing, that we are doing, that we amaze ourselves. And maybe we take it for granted. Maybe it is literally just getting out of bed. Sometimes that can be a stupendous achievement. Or maybe it is changing the world in some meaningful way. So think about something you did or something someone close to you did and marvel in it as we turn to the Micha Mocha, page 158.
Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot ose fele, ose fele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei yam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze eli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'mar kifada Adonai et Yaakov ugalo meyad chazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael.
Blessed are you, God, who helps us be redeemed, who redeems us and allows us to try and try again. We are going to turn to page 160. This is a special prayer, the Hashkivenu. It's a prayer that we only say in the evening, and it is about protection as the night falls. And Dr. Foster has a special melody for it.
I do. I'm going to lead into it. So at night, when we need protection, I like to think about angels sometimes. Love surround you, peace surround you, angels surround you every day, all day long. Morning, noon, and night, you are surrounded by the light. Love surround you, peace surround you, angels surround you every day, all day long. Morning, noon, and night, you are surrounded by the light. You are surrounded by the light of God, the light of peace, the light of love. You are surrounded by the light of God, the light of peace, the light of love. Hashkivenu ya Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu be'etzei tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu leman shemecha. Love surround you, peace surround you, angels surround you every day, all day long, morning, noon, and night. You are surrounded by the light. You are surrounded by the light. Baruch atah hapore sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim.
I invite you to rise for our private prayers, which start on page 164 and continue through 180. Take some time now for the prayers of your heart, and whenever you're ready, you may be seated.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
I just wanted to hear them clap more. That was very good. Sonia, very good, Sonia. We are going to turn to our prayers of healing. And this is always one of the hard times, but we're going to do what we can. Some of us here are in need of healing, and some of us have people on our minds. I'm going to read our list. And what we'll do is if you have other names, you can raise your hand. If you're joining us on social media, you can write in names. And the prayer itself is on page 371. As a community, we are embracing and thinking about David Atkinson, Ebony Burse, Michael Berwick, David Campbell, Ira Cohen, Karen Cooper, Michelle Davis, Arthur Dezelke, Lori Ebach, Faggy Fox, Irene Green, Jeff Hamilton, Reed Hefner, Nancy Hersbrunn, Sue Hill, Howard Hilfstein, Kenneth Nightinger, Mark Nightinger, Ken Kellick, Tony Legalbo, Diane Lynch, Larry Max, Baby Jaron Matthaus, Jean McGarry, Helene Mesh, Jennifer Milich, Karen Place, Lorraine Pleskow, Mary Rumez, Charlene Ripsick, Doris Sirota, Jason Shaw, Michael Citrin, Frank Shinta, Cindy Baum, Brady Smith, Charles Smith, Jerry and Janice Suffren, Meg Wagner, Carol Wilson, Fred Weiner, Elizabeth Jeezy Yeager, Hannah Ezra Ben Shuel, Amir Ben Tova, and Tova Bat Miriam. If you have other names, feel free to just raise your hand. And we bring all those names into our heart. 371 in the middle.
Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha laimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
A complete healing of body and soul. So this past week we had the National Scripps Spelling Bee. Anyone watch that? Good, you guys are good. I'm going to test you on some of the words then. In honor of that, first of all, we had a winner, first in the 98 or so years of the Spelling Bee. We had the first Black American young lady. Her name is Zayla Avant-Garde. And she's incredible because not only did she win the Spelling Bee at 14 years old, she also has 2 Guinness Book of World Records. It's worth a watch. She can dribble 6 basketballs simultaneously, which is kind of like you have to be kind of sitting down when you're doing it. She has different colored basketballs. It is quite incredible. But in honor of that, I brought my favorite book in the whole world, and one I know, Dr. Foster, maybe you have to get used to too. I don't know. This is called the Brown Driver Briggs Dictionary. Did they make you buy this in rabbinical school? Sure. This very heavy book is the heaviest book that you can lift weights with it. It's incredible. This has every single possible biblical word inside of it. And so it is a rabbi's dream because you can look it up and not only see the words, and by the way, young people here, this is a dictionary. Just making sure I know that those don't exist. Encyclopedias also. So in here you can find the words and you can find all the possible places that they appear. And some of the entries are very long, but some of them have kind of a little cross next to the word. And that means they appear almost never. And I'm going to teach you a word that one day in my dream will show up in the spelling bee. And then every clergy out there, Jewish or Christian, will start cheering. It's like when phylacteries appeared in 1999, I think it was. It got one of the contestants, and all the Jews said, "I can't believe it. They phylacteries, it's so obvious." Okay, I had Nancy prepare it. Okay, you can see if you can figure it out. Okay. The word, maybe I should see if you could spell it first. It's a hard word, okay. So it actually has 2 parts. It's a Greek word, hapax, legomena, see? Hapax, legomena. Anyone heard of it? Okay, this is a word that they taught me in my first year of rabbinical school, And as soon as you heard it, you just fell in love with the word. This word means a word that appears only once. It's not just in biblical tradition, a hapax legomena, and that is the plural. This is the plural. The singular, which is harder to spell, even when I was looking it up in Google, it was hard to spell. Legomenon, legomenon. Do. Sorry, I want to sing the Muppets. So hapax legomena, that is this very special word. It occurs, Shakespeare it's used for, and there's many, many different words like that. So it can be in any kind of long text. And the trick is, if it only appears one time, you have almost no clue as to what the word is. You have to, the only thing that you can use is context. And that can be very hard. So I'm going to give you a couple of the most famous examples in the Torah. Some of them you've actually heard of. And if you know any Hebrew at all, you probably heard of. But one of the first one is one that you've definitely have heard of, and it's one that we have no idea what it means, and that is atzei gopher. Now you can hear the second word, gopher, right? Have you ever heard in the story of Noah's Ark, there's gopher wood? And you wonder, what is gopher wood? Is that, I always pictured the gophers, chopping the wood, but I wonder, what is gopher wood? We actually have no idea. It has nothing to do with the animal gopher. But it appears only once, and the only thing that they could do is to actually just call it gopher wood, because we have no idea what it is. There is also a very popular word today, but back then it was still a novelty, which is gvina. Does anyone know any Hebrew? If you go to Hebrew, the wonderful breakfasts, like at the King David or the Tel Dan hotels, they have a lot of gvina. That is cheese. They have wonderful cheese spreads. But actually, it comes from the book of Job in the 10th chapter, verse 10, and it doesn't appear anywhere else, but that is, nowadays you'd say, that only appears once? Moses didn't eat cheese? But yeah, another one that I saw was Lilith, which is not the Lilith from the story of creation. That actually is not in the Torah itself. We understand that there was a woman before Eve who was called Lilith, and that's a big feminist hero. But in Isaiah, Lilith is related somehow to the destruction of Edom, which is the neighboring southern community to Israel. So those are just some of the examples of words that we just really have no idea exactly what they mean. There are 1,480 hapax legomena in the Tanakh, in the whole biblical tradition, 1480, which, just to put it into context, there are only 8,679 individual words in that entire tradition, and just about 20% of them are words that only appear once. Of those, 400 we don't even have a root word for, like the gopher, that we have no way of understanding it at all. If you're not familiar, Hebrew is a root language, so if you even know a little bit of the word, you can at least figure out what the idea of it. But if you don't have anything, we have no idea. So of all these words, the only thing we know is that they're words. We really don't know what they mean. This week's Torah portion, which is why I bring this up, is Deuteronomy, which in Hebrew is devarim, or words. And the majority of this book, which is a repetition of the entire Torah that came before us, is just, it's a repetition. It's not exactly what you'd hope for in the last book. And the commentators point out this. The Shema aside, which will appear next week in chapter 6, the rest of the book is kind of Moses yelling at the people. It's basically just a big scream. You know that picture with the person? Yeah, you know what I mean. In this book, when the rabbis look at it, they say Moses is really angry. Moses wants to get Moses' point across and will say whatever he wants to make sure, and will repeat and talk in as strong a language as he can to make sure that the people will do what he wants them to do. And are there any, raise your hand if you're a parent here. Does that ever work, by the way, as parents? It's never worked for me. It's wonderful to explain to children over again, or to get more frustrated with them. But the more frustrated you get, the less likely they'll probably follow. But there was one comment. There's actually, this is the first verse in Deuteronomy, is one of the most commented verses in all of Torah. There's 237 comments that I counted in Sepharia. The one that I liked the best was from Abarbanel, who's a 15th century Italian rabbi who disagrees with all the 236 other rabbis, which takes a lot of chutzpah. He says, Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher, intention with these words was not to reproach or to give new mitzvot, rather to explain those mitzvot which required explanation. In this book of the Chumash, there are no mitzvot, no commandments that were not alluded to already. Moses retold the stories of the ancestors so that there would be no doubt. I kind of like this. It's more of a teacher. It's not Moses, this is Moses. You didn't understand. Well, I'm going to patiently try to explain it because it's not easy what I'm trying to communicate. This is a whole new religion after all. Words without understanding are just words. Some go out of fashion. Some come back into fashion. Some were never in fashion in the first place. It is only when they're put together in sentences at particular times that they take on meaning. So in honor of Zela Avantgarde, I'm going to offer you her final word, and I know the Hurwitzes back there know it, and if you read my Torah thoughts, you'll probably know this too. Let's see who here can spell her word, which is Murayah. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It is a flowering plant in the citrus family. All right, let's try it together. Ready? M-U-R-R-A-Y-A. There we go. We got it. And that is a hapax legomen, I have to think. So congratulations. May we continue to speak and learn and grow with our words, even if we have to repeat them. We are going to now turn to more words, but it's really about doing more with our words than just praying, but doing good deeds. Page 586 to Aleinu. I invite you to rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
On that day, all will be one. All of us will be united. We sit, and we're going to turn to our Mourner's Kaddish. This week, we lost our formerly oldest member of our congregation, Sarah Weinstein. Sarah was incredible and incredibly funny. And she actually was vibrant and alive up until 2 days before she died. May we all be so lucky. I told someone who turned 60 on my block, I said, you're only halfway to Moses. We also are remembering Inga Strauss and Meyer Tubin, who died this past month, on our yard-side list. And I do know there's a number of people here that are remembering folks. We remember Estelle Arbitman, Frida Berger, Joseph Billick, Bertha Bookbinder, Malcolm D. Bretman, Eva S. Edelman, Nathan Finkelstein, Sherry Franco, Morton Frankfurt, Theodosia Goldman, Miriam Gabai, Elliot Hanan, Lillian Kushner, Richard Lark, Lillian Levitt, Meyer Levy, Saul Myers, Milton Newman, Benjamin Pesicow, Susan Pezzino, Robert Gordon Radlin, Erwin Ravner, Fern Rudolph, Henry Schreiber, Charles Siegel, Julian J. Sugarman, Norman Sweet, Matilda S. Taxon, Faye Tall, Abraham Winiger, and Nancy Zimble. If you have other names you'd like to offer, just raise your hand. We're still thinking about those folks in Sunnyside. And if you ever want someone's name read, just write to Nancy during the week.
And my father, Herb Foster.
Yeah, Yonina's still in her year of mourning. Why don't you lead us, those of you whose custom it is to rise, and since Yonina's still in her year of mourning for her dad,
Sure.
if you want to lead us in the prayer.
Yit gadal v'yit gadash shemei rabbah. Bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayei uv'yimei uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv imeru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mavarach li'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'yitmeru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yitmeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yitmeru. Amen.
May God send peace out to all those in need and to our world. And we say Amen. You may be seated. Zikronam levracha. May their memories always be for a blessing. And Bruce Chorus, who is doing a little bit of everything. You know, Bruce, I'm realizing we don't have any ice cream back there. We're going to have to try to rectify that.
We won't have the treats tonight.
No treats. See what happens when Joanne's away.
Yep. When Joanne goes away, the place goes to you-know-what in a handbasket. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you to Rabbi Alex and special guest, Dr. Yonina Foster, for a very warm and spiritual service tonight in honor of Shabbat. We would also like to thank Allison Weinberger for our audio setup, and special guest ushers this evening, Todd Sugarman and Sheila Bernard Tucker. And I would like to thank Mindy Weinman for showing up in time to help at the end of the service. Thank you, Mindy. Tomorrow morning, we will have Torah study at 9 a.m., Shabbat morning service, and virtual Kiddush luncheon at 11. The website has the links for those. As the Rabbi mentioned, please join him and Dr. Foster Sunday morning, virtually, of course, for the annual Holloway Memorial Chapel service. That'll be via Boxcast, Facebook, and YouTube. Everyone is welcome to tune in online. Next Friday, Erev Shabbat service will be 6 p.m. under the tent, weather permitting. Under the tent, weather. Could you put in a good word for us for next week, please? Could we have one in July? Anyway, and of course, if the weather is not permitting, we'll be back here in the sanctuary. And as I said, the new normal is back to the old normal. It's what we used to do. If we had bad weather, we just came inside. I want to thank everyone who supported our Shabbatas this week. Walter, we missed you, but Paul, where's Paul? You showed up right on time. We want to thank everyone that supported it and, of course, who volunteered. I'm calling him French Fry Frank now. French Fry Frank. He is manning that machine. He's great at it. Anyway, it's so important to us, as you know, so thank you to everyone who helps out or supports it. Our next one will be Tuesday, July 27th from 4 to 7 or until sold out. The summer celebration is fast approaching. It is Monday, August 2nd. That will be at Transit Valley Country Club. That is our joint venture with Temple Beth Zion and the Federation. Golf, wine, beer, and something else tour, dinner, lunch. If you're interested in learning more, there are still spots available. Tom Lansing is coordinating that for us, and his contact information is in the email that went out. And they could still use a sponsor or two. So if you'd like to help out in any way, please do so. Backed by popular demand, the New York State Defensive Driving class. I'm sorry to those of you who had to suffer through taking it online. It is boring as hell to do it that way. But we're able to do it finally, so we'll be doing it Saturday, August 21st. For those of you that still need it, that's the 6-hour class, and it never lasts 6 hours, where you take it and you will save approximately $100 a year on your car insurance for 3 years. I'll be teaching it. It'll be Saturday, August 21st in the building. If you'd like to know more, talk to me after the service, please. If you need anything else, if you need anything from us, please feel free to reach out to the rabbi, the cantor, who is on vacation, so leave her alone, Joanne, who's on vacation, so leave her alone, or myself. We are always here for you. And as the rabbi mentioned, this is my last Friday night service as president. I just want to say thank you. These last 3 years, I did not run to be president. I ran from it, but they ganged up on me, and I did it, and I wouldn't trade these last 3 years for anything. This has been one of the most remarkable experiences anyone could ask for. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sit. And thank you guys, because you guys make it so special. So thank you for being part of this absolutely amazing Shir Shalom family. Shabbat Shalom.
We had to get that, Bruce. I'm sorry. All right, we are going to conclude with a prayer that is a specialty of Tisha B'Av. It's one of my favorite ones, and it really rings true. 674, it's by the waters of Babylon, and I think we're going to do some of the Hebrew. Just that they were being asked in the Psalms to sing a song when they were bereft in exile. And the words, how can we sing a song in foreign land? What's the line? Oh, I got it completely wrong. But anyways, page 674. It really, you can feel the pain in this song.
By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, Zion. Al Naharot, Bavel. Sham yashavnu, gam bachinu, bezochrenu, et Zion. One more time in English. By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, Zion.
To all those, wherever you are, in pain and bereft, we send out our prayers. We hope that comfort will come your way. We're going to symbolically pretend, if I was a magician, I would lift up that challah cover. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. As you came in peace, may you leave in peace. Shabbat Shalom. And please return, as Steve is telling me, please return your prayer books. We're going to have, why don't we open the back doors over there, COVID protocol. These ushers, what's up with them today? I'm only joking because they're doing double duty here. Shabbat Shalom. brown driver Briggs there?
I do, yeah.